I have always found myself thinking of a phrase which will help me when the time comes. Like we all know that we did a cheat meal and we thought of ourselves like really low and we pledged that we won't ever have a cheat meal again. But here we are once again eating that cheat meal. Although we have little respect for us, we are still doing it. So I always wanted that one phrase which I can just say in such situations and that would give me the clear cut answer plus would motivate me to act on it. And for months I actually took many lines from other creators like Alex Hormozy, Sam Owens and Andrew Tate, and I tested many of them. And so I think here are the four best lines or the best phrases which will help you to get to the right answer or take the best decision when you are in a bad situation. So the first is, what would future you do? This phrase is specifically when times are bad and you have to make a decision. You also know that before cheating, you also know that you shouldn't, but it's in back of your mind. You know that you should not, but it's not come to the surface. You just let it be there, and you don't really think much about it. But if you ask such a question like what would future me do, then it will be much harder to lie. Because if you are anything like me, you also know that 1 year from now you will be much smarter than how much you are right now. And that's a really positive sign, because if you will be much smarter in the future, then the probability of you making good decisions would increase. So wouldn't you think that your future self would make better decisions? So now when you say that what would my future self do, this also intrigues you to thinking that what would he do. And it's often like, to be honest, we don't really know what his perspective will be. But if we know the right thing which is at the back of our mind, that we shouldn't cheat, or we shouldn't eat that cheat meal, or we should not skip the gym, or we should work on our business, like these are the things which we know on the back of our mind. And when we say that what would that person do, these things we have to say them out loud, that yes, he won't bitch out and he would go to the gym. And this gives you the right thing, that this is the thing which I need to do. Now the second thing is that the second phrase is that how can I make my future self proud. You also know that when in many situations, even if you know the correct answer, that you should do X, but you don't stop what you are doing. Like, you also know that you should not eat that burger, but you still do. And it's not that you don't know the answer or that it's not come to the surface. You are truly aware of it, but you just don't care. You also know that you ask that question, that what would my future self do? And you say that he won't eat it. But you say that fuck it, I will eat it. I'm too depressed to think about my future self, or to I'm too depressed to think clear right now. And you just eat it. So in such situations, this phrase comes really handy, because we as humans are really short-sighted and we never really think of the long-term goals. Like every one of us has long-term goal. You might have that you want to make a 10K business, or you want to get really good in studies, or you want to get a good physique, or you want to get a good girlfriend. Like these are all the long term goals which you want to achieve, and you have identified them as really important in your life. But what do you do in the short term? You watch porn instead of working hard to find a girlfriend. You don't work on your business, instead you watch anime. You skip the gym, you eat that dessert instead of following your routine. So these are the things which you do, because you never really think that what would my future self say about this, that will he be proud of himself, would he be proud of me for doing this thing. Like if you really ask, that would your future self be proud of you for fapping today? The answer is hell no, because it's bad. It's truly bad. And your future self would not be happy at you or even proud at you. And this is a really good phrase. So the third phrase is that what effect will this cause have on my future self? Because you also know that this is the universe law. Every cause has an effect. If you do X, there will be a Y. So, and there are certain times when you can use this. Like, this is really powerful because when we when we do just random shit before even thinking. But if we specifically say that this is the effect which my future self would have to take, this is the effect which my future self would have to bear. So then it comes to really in your mind that do you really want to do this? Just think that if you fabbed today, your future self would be underconfident. If you worked out today, your future self would have that dream physique. You, if you cold approached three girls today, your future self would be great with girls. If your future self studied today, if you studied today, your future self would be really good in studies. Now, you also know that you are inherently selfish, and when you think about your future self, you are just thinking about you because in the end, you will be that future self. So, in the process of thinking for your future self, you are actually just thinking about you. So when you think about your what the effect of these causes will have, like you are really in a rut and you don't know what's happening to be very honest in your life and what do you want to do, and suddenly you think that if I stay in this rut, what will this affect, and or how will this affect my future self? And then you think of the effects which it can have, that your future self does not have that his dream physique. He does fap every day. He is really poor, he is broke, he is underconfident, he is shy, timid, he is frail. And you think of all these effects with which your just a single action would have, because these things are linked. The way you do one thing is the way you do another thing, all of them are linked together. And you also know these are all a chain of reactions. So this way you have get a clear idea that what you should be doing. Now the final quote which I loved the most is that how can I make myself proud? Now you may say that this is similar to the second quote, but no, it's not similar. It's the second quote was that how can I make my future self proud, and this quote is that how can I make myself proud. If you're anything like me, you want to be really proud of yourself, and you want to be really confident with everyone, and you want to talk with them and stare into everyone's eyes and have a good eye contact. You want to be that person that holds his head up eye that holds is fuck that holds his head up high with shoulders broad, and stand up straight. So you want to be that person. And you also know that our humans we are really like short sighted, and it's because of our animal side, because we are a mixture of both our animal side and our logical side. There are many times when you know that this is the logical thing to do, and it's your logical mind which is telling you. But on other hand, sometimes there's just no logic, there's pure instinct, and that's your animal side. So it's a mixture of both. But you also know that often, and most often, your animal side actually wins your logical side. And what do our animal side mostly want for men like us? It's pride, it's respect among men, it's our social status. So if we want social status, and most of us don't really want to think much ahead in the future because ah, we don't really know that will it happen, would be we can be crushed by a bus, or we would not live tomorrow, or we get cancer, or blah blah blah. We don't know the future, but this specific phrase tells us that we can be, if we just undertake a step, we can be really, really proud of ourselves and be confident in just a few hours. Like if I ask myself that how can I make myself proud right now? It's simple. I will say that first I need to complete this video. Then I need to study for 1 hour 45 minutes. Then I go to the gym. And then I would come back and eat my dinner. This way I could make myself really. And when at the end of the day I actually do finish all these things, I would really feel that yeah, I did great, and my self image would just slightly upgrade. It won't have a much difference, it won't have much different, but it would be just slightly up. I would think much better of myself, and slowly but surely I would be like really, really confident, and I would actually love myself to the point that people would call me arrogant. And so this is the thing which you can do, that ask any of these four phrases. All of them are pretty effective in my opinion. I would repeat them once again, that what would your future self do? How can I make my future self proud? What are the effects of this action on your future self, and how can I make myself proud? For me, I think the best one is like the fourth, because I always want to think in the present, and it just gives me a really good boost in testosterone when I think that yeah, I'm proud of myself, and that's really who I am. And if you are like me, then you would probably love the fourth one more than the others, but all of them are pretty good. Instead of just doing the things mindlessly, try them. And whenever you are doing something or whenever you are in a rut, just say these questions. I know that you won't, even after saying these four questions and answering them, you won't stop. I know, because I never stop, to be very honest. Like 7 times out of 10 I never stop, after even after asking all the four questions. But this tells me, or my self-conscious, or my unconscious brain, that this is the right thing to do and I'm not doing the right thing. So the next time when I would be about to do that thing, my unconscious brain would just come to help me and say that this is wrong, you can't do this, there is a much better way to do this. And this would be my savior. This can be my savior in many situations. So I it will take time. Don't think that just after doing this one time you will be able to do it, because I have not done it myself. I think that this is the best way, and I'm slowly but surely doing the thing. And the thing is that it will take some time. Every cause has an effect, but over time. You know what Newton said, that every action has an equal and opposite reaction over time. So, yeah, most of the time all four questions will be basically give the same answer, and it depends on you what gets you the most motivated. I already said this, but I will explain this with an example. For example, a good old example, you are eating a burger and you are cheating on your diet. What would your future self do? First answer, he would not cheat, he would not cheat on his diet, and he would follow his diet. Second question, how can I make my future self proud? By not cheating on my diet. What effect will this cause have on my future self? He will be fat. How can I make myself proud? By not eating this diet. So you can see that all these four questions kindly give the same answer. Kind of give the same answer. But it depends on you. Take care. Bye bye.